Yep.
Okay, so this is just a basic idea of what log means. So logs always take this form: log base A of B, or log of base some number of another number. So here, I'm going to highlight what I mean right here. Okay, what that tells you is the logarithm is the value of the exponent. It basically tells you that the power that you have to raise A to get B is the value of the logarithm. So for example, let me see, I wonder if I can just get into editing and just type right into here. Not a perfect way to do this, but yeah. Sorry, it would be so much better on my desktop. The bottom line is, if you have a log of a certain base, the log base 2 of 8 is worth 3, because 2 to the third is 8. All right? Anyone want to try one? What would be the log base 5 of 25? So anyone can shout out the answer. Log base 5 of 25.
Is it 2?
It is, because 5 to the second power, 5 to the 2 is 25. Let's try one more. The log base 3 of 81. Log base 3 of 81.
9?
No, you want to figure out what do you have to raise? So raising a power means multiplying by the number multiplied by itself that number of times. So like 3 to the 9. Yes, 4, because 3 times 3 plus 3 times 3 is 81. So 3 to the 4th power is 81. All right, so that's the basic knowledge you need to play the game. The second part is these log rules, which let me share my ID again. If I can, please work. If it doesn't work and it doesn't look like it's going to.
It is. If it's not going to work for you, if the ID plan is the one that's in the Moodle, I could share it from here.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great if you don't mind.
Yeah. Let me. Yeah. There we go. It's starting. Yes. There we go. You're all set.
Okay. So the other two pieces of information that we're not going to worry about this is something I do with students, but there's two special rules with logs that I'm going to incorporate in the game, which is that logs can be broken up. The log base C of A times B is the log base C of A plus the log base C of B, and then the other rule too with the division. But we won't worry about that for today. Okay, so the game is basically all contained on Scratch, and we'll play it in a minute, but I'll just tell you the rules as they are. It's a 4-player game or 4-team game, depending on if we want to have teams or players. And everyone's got a template with a log with a base you can change and a power, which is like in log base 2 of 8. 2 is the base, 8 is the power. You can affect the base and the power. And your goal is to get log values that are whole numbers. So, like, for example, log base 2 of 8 is 3, but log base 2 of 7 is not a whole number. There's no clean power of 2 that is equal to 7. So you need to try to get a situation where your log is worth a whole number. If you do, you shout, roll my log, and you get points for that. The points you get are the value of the log plus the value of the base. So there's actually an incentive for having a higher base. And the way you play is you roll a die, and every time you roll a die, you get a number, and you use that number to affect either the base or the power. So you can either use that number to multiply it by the base to get a new base, or add it to the base, or subtract it, or the thing to the power. And I think the best thing is that we'll play through it, and I'll talk you through what you can do. The only other thing I want you to know is if you can, at any point, any turn, you can you can either add or subtract 1 without rolling the die. So you always have the option to add or subtract 1 from either your base or your power. So that's kind of always, but then that's instead of rolling the die. And the other thing is if you roll a 6, 7, or 8, you get a high roller card after you do your turn, which gives you some extra potential interesting things that happen. So now I'm going to stop sharing that. Let me share the game. Hopefully, I'll be the game master. And who feels brave and wants to volunteer? We need 4 players.
I'll volunteer.
All right. Who's that? Who was that?
So that was me.
Oh, okay.
I think Eric looked like Eric had his hand up.
It's awful at math, but I'll try it.
All right, sounds great. I'll help you. I'll help you. Anyone else?
Shko's got his hand up.
I'm sorry?
Shko had his hand up.
No? Okay.
All right, one more. One more brave soul.
I can't. I just have to run and get my charger because my computer's gonna die.
Okay. Was that Alyssa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
All right. Oh, and I forgot to say, the main thing I'm having trouble with is the end game. I think it's working all right, but I thought maybe the end game would be the first person to hit 20 points, but I don't know if maybe I should just do it with a set number of rounds. Like I actually don't know how long this thing could take. And I don't want it to be like one of these, like, and we're not going to play a whole game now, but like, I want to hear your opinions on like when it should end, basically. So think about it as the game is going along. So I guess I'll start, and then Alyssa, let us know when you're back. But we're gonna take everyone's name. Okay, so I'm gonna start the game. I think it's going.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
Well, no problem. Thank you. Hopefully it should start pretty soon. Yeah, okay. Please enter the name of player 1. So who wants to be 1?
I'll be 1. So David.
Okay. Who wants to be player 2?
Eric.
Okay, player 3.
Alyssa.
Oh, Alyssa.
Go.
Okay, player 4, go. Okay, so each of you has a log template. This is their reset situation. A log base 2 of a bunch of zeros. These are so the power can be up to 3 digits, and I have a list of, and one of the game components that I'll have is a list of all the possible powers of all the possible numbers from 3 to 9. But I'll help you. I'll guide you now and tell you numbers you could go for. Okay. To start off, you have to roll the die in order. So David, go first. You roll the die for your base. So I'm going to roll it for you. Your base is 2. Okay, so I don't have to change that. And then for your power, your first power is 7. Whoops. Okay. Now, Eric, you roll the die and you get your basic power to start off with. 5. And your power is 5. Oh, that's a good start. Okay, Alyssa, you get a 4 for your base, and your power is a 4. Oh, Eric and Alyssa are already starting with points. And Shko, let's see. You get a 2, and your power is 7. Again, with my laptop with the bad mouse, that's what, it usually responds better. Okay, so now we're into the gameplay. Notice your points are the numbers up on top of your log. That's how you keep track of score. Okay, so David, you have a choice. You can either add or subtract 1 from either your base or power. I have a recommendation if you want one. Or you can roll the die.
I think I would like to add 1 to my power.
Okay, so now you have an 8. So now, oops, I'll have to get back. Okay, so now you get to say, roll my log.
Roll my log.
All right, and what value your log? Would you know what your value is? How many points you're going to get now?
It's 3, right?
3 plus 2, because you add the value of the base.
Okay.
That's 1, 2, 3, and another 2 for the base. And then you're going to reset your log. So you just rolled your log. You get 5 points. Your base is now 4. And your power is now 6. By the way, rolling logs doesn't count as a turn. That's just like, you can do that at any point and it's kind of for free. Okay, so Eric, it's your turn. You can roll your log without doing anything because 5 is a power of 5.
Oh, let's roll my log.
All right, so you get a lot of points for that because you get 1 for the value of the log because 5 to the power of 1 is 5. Plus you get 5 for the base that you did. So you have 6 points. Now you reset your log and you still have a turn to play. So your log has a new base of 4. And your log has a new power of 5. Okay, so now, no, new power of 5. So now you get to have a turn. Do you either want to roll the die or do you want to add 1 or subtract 1 from either your base or your power?
Let's roll.
Okay. So you got a 4. So you can do whatever you want with the 4. You can multiply it by, not by the base. The base can't be anything more than 9. But you can multiply it by the power. You can add it to the power. You could, if you want guidance, I'll help. Or you can ask for other people's suggestions.
I'll take a recommendation for 100.
I think it might be good to multiply by 5 because if you can get it to 16, that's a power of 2. 4 squared is 16. Well, multiply, that gets you kind of close to 16. So you can multiply a 4 by 5 and get a 20.
So I'm multiplying the 5. Okay.
No. You see what happened? You took the 4 that you rolled and you multiplied it by the 5 that was there to get a 20.
Okay.
And that's your turn. Because you didn't, only if you roll a 6 you get a high roll. So Alyssa, you're up.
Roll my log.
All right, so you get 1.5 points. Oops. And now we reset your log. 4 and base 4 and power is 8. Okay, what would you like to do? Do you want to add or subtract 1 or roll the die?
I want to roll.
So you want to, okay. I think you got a 6. Yeah, you had a 6. All right, so
can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So she started off by rolling her log, but after resetting, she also could, like, she's in a position she could roll the log again right now, right? Is that allowed?
Yes, it is, except this actually isn't a rollable log.
Oh, it's
because you need a power of 4.
Oh, right. I'm thinking. Yep, you're right. Sorry, I was thinking. Yeah, I know what I was thinking, and it was wrong. So ignore me.
4 times 2, and by the way, that is a confusion that a lot of students tend to go. It's really easy to think like if it's a multiple of the number, it feels like it's a power of a number, but it wouldn't.
Yeah, you're right.
But yes, if it was another, if you had rolled, let's say another 4, you could just roll again. If you can keep rolling as long as you can. Okay. So let me. So I think you rolled a 6. I know I rolled it twice, and I'm going to call it a 6 because then we can look at a high roller card. So what do you want to do with your 6?
Multiply.
Okay, the 8 by 6. Okay, so it'd be 48. Oops. Okay, and since you rolled a 6, I know that it says 4, but imagine it's a 6. You get a high roller card. So you click here. Oh, lose your next turn. Sorry. All right, so you have to remember that for next time. Okay, Shko, you're up.
Roll my log.
You can't roll your log yet, but you can do so. You do have a choice. You can add or subtract 1 to your log, because your log right now is not worth a whole number. 7 isn't a power of 2. But if you added 1 to 7, then you would have an 8, and 2 to the third power is 8. So you can just add 1 and get some points.
Yeah, I would like to add
You want to add 1?
Yep.
Okay, so now you get a 2 to the 2 log base 2 of 8, which is worth 3. So if you say roll my log, that's the magic word.
Roll my log.
All right, so you've got 3 for the value of the log plus 2 for the value of the base, which is 5. And you can definitely change your base. So, okay, David, you're up. I forgot to. We have to change your. Sorry, I forgot to reset. We have to reset your log. Go. So your log has now a new base of 6 and a new power of 4. Okay, David, you're up.
Okay.
So you have a choice: either add or subtract 1 from either number, or roll the die.
I'm gonna roll the. Yeah, I'm gonna roll the dice. Oh, be nice if I unmuted. I'll roll the dice.
Okay, you got a 5.
I'm gonna add it to the 6.
Okay, so again, 11. And by the way, the high roller cards, when we get to them, some of them let you kind of mess with the other people's logs. You can switch bases and you can switch powers with other people. So that kind of adds a little element if we get there. Okay. Eric, what would you like to do?
Roll the die, please.
Okay. 4. Oh, I think you got a 4. Right, was it a 4 before I clicked again?
Yes, so that adds to the 20.
Yeah, so you could subtract it if you had a let's go with the 4 that you had before.
Okay.
If it was a 4, then you would subtract it from the 20. You get 16, which is perfect because 16 is the power of 4.
Okay.
And then you get to say,
roll my log.
Roll my log, and that gives you get 2 points for the log value plus the 4, so you go up to 12. Oh, I'm just realizing I thought these went up to 20, but I guess I forgot to do that. Okay, so we'll remember that you're actually you're on 12, not 2. I forgot that I didn't change that. All right, initially the rules were different with the scoring. Okay, and then you reset your log. So this is how the game goes. The only thing I might show you, I'm just going to show you some of the high roller logs. Do you guys want to keep playing, or you want to talk about it?
I think we have a pretty good idea of sort of the cycle of the game. So yeah, if you wanted to show some of the high roller cards.
Sure. So just let me see what happened, and then I'm curious to hear what you think. So loser neck, that seems to be the one. Switch bases with another player. So if you got that, you could just say, I want, David, you could say, I want Shko's 6, and you could just basically give him your 4. Or roll again. Switch the bases of the powers of any 2 other players, so you can mess things up for someone else. These are the ones with the log rules, which we're not going to worry about today, but with students, I would kind of emphasize those extra rules. I think that's pretty much the way to go. It's one of them you can choose. You can choose which, there's one which is not coming up, I don't know why. It's random. I'm not sure why it's not here, why it's not coming, but there's one where you get to add or subtract whatever number you want from 1 to 10 from either your base or your power. So that's another one. All right, so that's the way the game goes. And right now I have it so that like the winner would be the first one to get 20 points. Not exactly, just the first one to pass 20. But I'm curious what you think about both the end game and any other comments you have.
Anyone? Yeah, go ahead, Alyssa.
I was just curious, are you controlling just by clicking the numbers in the log?
Yeah, so I'm just clicking on, yeah, I'm just clicking on the, whatever number I'm trying to change, I'm just clicking and it kind of cycles through the numbers. I'm not sure if there's a better way to do it. I couldn't figure out a better way to do that.
I was also just curious if, like, let's say for me, I'm at 48. Can I reset back to like 6 if I chose to do that, or I have to add or subtract?
Reset in what sense? Like if you roll a 6?
Like I roll my log and then I'm resetting, and I roll a 6, and I just make my make it 6. Instead of 48, you're subtracting?
Yeah, you have to go this way. So it's a little painstaking, but you get there. That's the way you have to do it. But yeah, you can. The rules allow you to do that. It's just that to do it, you have to kind of get that 4 back to a 0, and then get the units back to a 6. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I was thinking teacher brain. I was thinking like kids that are like not confident in the higher numbers, like being able to go back down low again to like feel more comfortable and be successful.
Oh, yeah, you're allowed to subtract, and you're actually also, I wasn't sure about this. I'm wondering what your opinion is. I thought at first that I'd allow division also, like you could divide, like let's say you're 48 and you roll a 6, you could divide by 6. But then I thought since we need to stay in whole numbers, I guess I could say as long as you can land on the whole number, you're allowed to divide also. You know, kind of have that flex. Do you think I should allow the division too?
Maybe it's something you add in later, like as like a extra, once they got the game down, the basics of the game down.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. So you're saying to be able to go back, not stay in big numbers, to be able to go down to small numbers.
Yeah, so like I don't know the exponential of a lot of numbers. Like once you get past like, you know, the second or third power, I'm out of this game. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's a good point. I have I'm going to provide a list of all the powers up until the highest one is 729. That's the highest one that can be reached with these numbers. And kind of have, I don't know how I would do it like digitally, but you know, it could be like a card that people could refer to, like all the power to 2, all the power to 3, so they kind of have goals. But I agree, it's kind of easier to stay in the lower powers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just a couple of suggestions, and I don't know that they would necessarily change anything, but kind of going back to the number changing thing, because that's sort of a big part of what goes on. You could set these up. There is a way with a script relatively easily to have it know, like if you click on the top part of the sprite, the number would go up, and if you clicked on the bottom part of the sprite, the number would go down. Especially if like it's a teacher that's doing it, if they knew that they could separate, it might just be faster if you could decrement the numbers as well as increment them.
Yeah, definitely.
Rather than having to loop all the way around. You could also, you could do the same thing by putting like, I don't know, a little triangle or something above and below each number. And that you would actually click those triangles to get the number to go up or the number to go down. You know, it's more, those are more visual elements, and that may just make things more cluttered, but it might save you having to roll all the way around, you know, especially if you accidentally click one too many times. Yes. And then you've got to like go the rest of the way around.
Right.
Another thing, and I was just thinking of this, and this would mainly just be when you're resetting the log. Like, I don't know, maybe like the end of the log, if that was clickable, then if somebody clicked on that, maybe it resets the fields back to zeros, just as a quick way to kind of reset back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Or somewhere you could click that would allow the person who's doing the scorekeeping or doing the numbers to be able to quickly reset back to zeros and then go back up from there. So, I mean, it works perfectly fine the way it is. I'm just looking at if there's ways to streamline or allow people to get to the numbers they need to get to more quickly.
Yeah, I would definitely like to change that. Yeah, to make it a little more smooth. Yeah.
Other comments? I think everyone's just scared of logarithms. So
Still? See, they're not scary. They're just little logs.
They're logs. I like the visual tie-in with the log being the log. I don't know if anybody is going to know this. I may be dating myself slightly here, but I think it was on Ren and Stimpy. I don't know if anybody ever watched Ren and Stimpy, but they had a whole fake like 50s cartoon commercial for a children's toy that was just called Log. And there was a whole theme song that went along with it. What rolls downstairs, a loner in pairs, or over the neighbor's dog. It fits on your back. It's good for a snack. It's log, log, log. So anyway, I hear log and it ends with Log by Blammo. So anytime I hear log, I think of that skit.
That's funny.
But no, it's a good visual tie-in. It makes it interesting to look at. So yeah, but I think the basic rules. Oh, thanks, Wayne. So everyone's going to go watch the video now, and then you'll have it stuck in your head forever.
I should attach it to the game, that should be playing with the intro.
So but any other comments from anybody? Any other feedback? What about the question that Judy had about the end game? Like, I mean, we just played a couple of rounds there, and we were getting up to scores of 6, 7. Somebody had made it up to 12, right? In 2 rounds. So 20 doesn't seem undoable. It looks like 20 would probably be reached in maybe 4 or 5 rounds, maybe. Alyssa, yeah, do you want to?
So I was thinking the same thing, that if 20 might be too low, especially if they have a list that they're going off of for like what the powers come out to be. It might be like too fast. If you only play, maybe through 3 sets of them and then there are 20.
Okay. I think I need to probably play the game, even just like pretend I'm a few people and play it or with my family if I can get them to do it and see how long it takes.
Yeah, or like you said, maybe it might be the kind of thing the real goal is the practice with the logs, that you may want to make it a certain number of rounds. The only issue there would be you'd have to make sure that your score counter could go up as high as it would need to. Like, you'd say 5 rounds is a game, you'd have to account for the scoring counters to be able to go up to whatever could potentially be reached in 5 rounds of play.
Right.
So it's possible, like your scoring counters might end up having to be like your powers counters, where it's each digit is separate, just so that you can get up to, I don't know what could be reached in 5 or 6 rounds, but potentially somebody could get up to 50 points or something. That it might, rather than having 50 costumes to get all the way up to 50, you could have do 2 costumes, a 10s and a 1s, and that would allow you to get up to 100 pretty easily. So, but yeah, I think doing a little research or little trial runs to see roughly where it tends to get to might be good. So